My name is Sarah and my channel is knottygnome Crafts. Welcome! If this is your first time viewing my channel, thank you so much for watching. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for returning. I really appreciate it. Today's video is going to be another edition of Fridaysews. If you are unaware, Fridaysews is a hashtag that was started by Jen of Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and I always link her channel down in the description box. And it's just a little series where sewing vloggers can talk about what they've worked on over the week, what they plan to work on next, and a little bit of life. So for my video today, I have a couple of finished projects to tell you about, and then I'm going to let you know what I'm working on and what I plan to work on next week. And also at the end, I have a little movie recommendation that is sort of sewing relevant. So before we get started, I am wearing a hand knit sweater today. This is a worsted weight, I think it was Ella Rae Classic that I used to knit a sweater, and it's just a drop shoulder boxy sweater. I didn't use a pattern, and although maybe I should have used a pattern because I wanted to have like really big balloony sleeves, but I went a little bit overboard, so it's kind of almost like a batwing type thing. But I think it's fine. It's very, very cozy and comfortable, and it's a cold day today, so I'm just trying to stay warm. Okay, so this week for sewing, I wanted to really sort of laser focus in on my February sewing plans. And if you missed that video, I will link it for you up in the cards. But yeah, we're kind of running out of February, like the end is sort of creeping up on me, and I hadn't really gotten to my plans yet. So I wanted to start taking things off the list. So the first thing that I finished for this week is for the Bhmpatterndesigners challenge, which is a challenge that is run by Natita of Sew Natural Dane. And it's pretty simple. You just sew up a pattern by a black pattern designer, and then you have to share it on Instagram and use the hashtag and tag Natita. And I will link her channel down in the description box below so you can check out more details about the challenge if you want to join in. But I had decided that I was going to make a pattern that I actually made last year, because just for like ease of use, like not having to like try out a new pattern, because I knew that this month was going to be kind of busy for me. So I chose the Lisa Loungewear set from Style Sew Me, and I was going to make the wide leg pants. Now I made the wide leg pants last year out of a leopard French terry, and I really love those pants. They are so comfy and cozy and just great to lounge around the house in. So I wanted another pair. So the sizing for this pattern, it comes in sizes extra, extra small up to 3X, and I will put the size chart on the screen. And I made a size extra small, and I shortened the leg length by 6 inches. Now the first time that I made it, I shortened it, but I decided this time around to go back in and shorten it a little bit more, because although I think that the leopard pants look really attractive and nice at the longer length, I have had a few issues where I've tripped on them going up the stairs. So just for like safety reasons, I decided to go ahead on this time and like shorten them a little bit more. So they're more like ankle length, and like admittedly it's not as attractive as the floor length, but it's less likely that I'm gonna fall and hurt myself. So yeah, overall I shortened this time the legs 6 inches, which is pretty common for me. If you're not aware, I'm 4'9", so I'm extremely short. And so I always have to shorten my pant legs. But yeah, 6 inches maybe sounds like a lot to most people, but for me, it's not that uncommon. I can't recall what the pattern said to use as far as elastic width, but I used 3/4 elastic, because that's what I had on hand, and it worked out fine. And the fabric that I used is a cable knit that I got from Joann Fabrics. I don't remember the fabric composition, but if it's still available on their website, I'll link it. But it's this beautiful navy fabric, and I got it at my local Joann's. Hopefully you can see the texture. And I just thought that this just felt like a really lush sweater knit, and like right now this sort of textured sweater knits are really on trend for loungewear. And I was just thinking these would make the most wonderful, comfy, like, I don't know, like wearing a hug sort of loungewear pants. So I cut out the pants. This pattern does come with pockets, but I actually omitted the pockets both times that I made it, because for loungewear, I don't really use pockets. When I need pockets is for when I go to work, because you know, I need to carry my keys around when I leave my office. And so that's the time that I really wish that things have pockets. When I'm just hanging out at home, I don't really care if I have pockets or not, so I just left them out. And because I left off the pockets, I originally had purchased about 2 yards of fabric. It was kind of an end of the bolt thing, and I don't think they had quite 2 yards, but like pretty close. So I just bought all that they had. And because I left off the pockets and I shortened the legs so much, I actually had like a decent amount of fabric left over from after I cut out the pants, probably about 3/4 of a yard. So because of that, and my new pledge that I've been trying to do for the past several months, which is to not put fabrics back in my stash and then have to decide what to do with them later, I just wanted to use up the whole thing. So I decided to try to squeeze out a vest, which is also a pattern I've made before. So I cut out Simplicity 9374 and View B, and that is the exact view that I've made before. It's this one, the little pull-on sweater vest. So in order to accommodate the fabric that I had left, I did have to shorten the body 1.5 inches, and that was actually fine. It's not even really cropped. It kind of hits me right at my high hip level, and it looks fine with the high-waisted pants. So I think in the future, if I made this again, I might actually keep the shorter length because I kind of liked that. So obviously I use the same fabric, and this pattern comes in sizes extra, extra small up to extra, extra large. And I made the size extra small. And yeah, because I had made this before, it was pretty straightforward to put together. I did go ahead and do the facings with the armholes are finished with facing and it has interfacing on it, and I did go ahead and use knit fusible interfacing for those facings. How many times can I say facings? It's like doesn't mean anything anymore. But anyway, here's my sweater vest, and I think that this actually like looks really cute as a set. It's not something that I was going into it thinking that I was gonna do that, or I never had an idea to make a vest and wide leg pants set. But now that I have one, I kind of want to make more because I just think that it looks really cute together. I also just like having them as separates because this is like neutral enough, the vest, that I feel like I can wear it to work. Like it's casual and it's comfy, but it's also like you could dress it up, I think, with like a button-up shirt underneath. So I'm really happy that I got those two pieces out of my fabric and that I have another matching loungewear set. I imagine that someday I'm gonna get tired of having matching loungewear sets, but I'm not there yet. And yeah, so I completed that for the pants for the Bhmpatterndesigners challenge. So I'm really happy that I was able to tick that off my list. And those were the two things that I finished this week. So now let's move on to what I am working on. I forgot to bring it up to show you, but I'm not gonna go get it because I just literally cut out the pieces and I haven't actually done anything with them yet. But I have finally cut out my pink corduroy pants. I had taken this class from Fabric Mart in January on pants fitting, and so the pattern that we were using is called Happy Pants, and it's sort of like it is a pattern, but it's also like a workbook, and the whole point of the class is that like the teacher like takes you through fitting her pattern to your individual body with all the little tweaks and stuff. So I mean, I hesitate to even say that I'm making pants from a pattern because it's almost like just making them from scratch. So anyway, I finally got to the stage of drafting the pattern for my final pants, and I have them cut out now. And so this next week, I'm going to try to concentrate on getting that sewn up and getting them done so that I can actually show you the pants that I made using the class and then do a video about the class because I've been promising that for quite a while now. And yeah, I admit I've had some ups and downs, and so maybe that's why it's taking me so long. But yeah, I think I'm finally to the stage where I'm almost ready to show you what I've learned. Okay, so that's what I'm working on now. And the fabric that I'm using for that was a pink stretch corduroy from Joann's. I had about 2 yards, and it's a stretch cord, but it's barely any stretch. It has 1% spandex, so it's probably like 10% stretch or something. It's really more for comfort. The original pattern is actually not meant for stretch fabric, but I think it'll be fine. And then if I finish that this week, the next thing I'm going to work on is my Project Dress a Girl dress for February. I had made a pledge that I want to try to make one dress a month. And because I'm running out of time, think I'm going to try this month to just do the dress that I made last year for the challenge. And that was the Oliver & S Popover sundress. I know that it's really easy and quick to make. I know that I can do it in a few hours if I need to. And I have tons and tons of quilting cotton in my stash that hasn't been used. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my charity dress this month. And then after that, I don't know. I mean, that seems like a lot. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of that in the coming week, but yeah, that's what I'm going to focus on, is finishing up sort of my commitments or things that I've said that I want to do as far as plans and challenges. I just want to get those ticked off before February ends. So the last thing that I have to talk to you about is actually a movie that I watched last night, and it's called Summer of Soul, and you can watch it on Hulu. So it's a documentary that was made by Questlove, and it's about a summer concert festival series from 1969 that was put on in Harlem, and there were all kinds of R&B and soul artists from lots of different backgrounds, and it's kind of a concert film, so if you like that sort of music, then I think that you enjoy it. It's also kind of weaves in some history of the time and what was going on in 1969. I was not alive in 1969, so I felt like I learned a little bit about what was happening in America at that time. But more than that, what I really want to talk to you about is the outfits, because I really thought that this was a great movie to kind of give you a little snapshot, a little glimpse, like a time capsule of what people were wearing in the summer of 1969. And not just the artists that were on stage, although the costumes that they wore were really fascinating and really wonderful to look at, but also there's plenty of shots of the crowd, so you can just kind of get an idea of what everyday people were wearing then. And it was just fascinating. There was just so many different styles and all the colors and all of the embellishments. It was just really, really interesting to me to just stare at the clothing. And I do think that movie is good and it's worth watching for its own merits. But even if you're not interested in that, I think that it's a fascinating glimpse into what was going on in fashion at that time. So if you have any interest in that at all, I would highly recommend checking it out. So I really enjoyed watching it, not just, like I said, not just on its own merits, but also for the clothes. So I think that is everything that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, that you'll hit the like button, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you again next time.